Hey everybody, this is Glenn from Glenn Reptiles. Thanks for tuning in. Today I wanted to show you a video of some of the Sanzinia I have. I'm going to be showing you my adult pair that I got from Bill Hughes out of Las Vegas. And then I'm going to show you a pair that's about 2 years old that I held back from my first breeding of these guys. And then I'm going to start off by showing you some of the babies that I produced this last year. And so I've got a pair that I held back. Let me start off with this male, and these guys are beautiful off the get-go, and they do have a bit of an attitude when they're young, but basically you keep your fingers out from in front of their mouth and they never bite you. Beautiful animals. I could handle him all day as long as I don't put my hand in front of his mouth and he won't bite me. So this is my male, super sweet, super mellow, but if you give them a target that looks warm to them, they will take a jab at it. So these are Sanzinia. They're a boa out of Madagascar, known as a common name Madagascar Tree Boas. Mine are all the mandarin phase. Someday I would love to get some greens, but I don't know if that will ever happen because everybody would like to someday get some greens. So here is my female I produced this year. She's a little more red colored starting out than the male, and she's a very nice animal. And I chose to hold her back because she's got some interesting missing head scales, and in all likelihood that means nothing, but when you're picking between a lot of beautiful animals that all have different advantages and disadvantages, I decided to try to pick one that potentially had an interesting genetic possibility. So anyway, this is my female that I held back from this last year. Again, they are just incredible snakes, very beautiful. Madagascar Tree Boa, Sanzinia mandarin phase. Interestingly, I was told by Bill that the way to sex these animals was to look carefully for spurs, and the males will have spurs and the females won't. But you have to look closely. So I did that with my first clutch, and I was like, I can't see spurs. I could not find spurs on any of them, so I tried then instead sort of probing them. That's what I eventually did to sex mine. And so this is a 2-year-old that I held back from that clutch. And this was the male I held back. But this last year when I had the clutch, I decided to try Bill's technique again. And lo and behold, it was so easy to tell a male from a female by looking at spurs. And I don't know what I did wrong the first time. Maybe didn't have the right kind of jeweler's glasses, but this time it was just so obvious. And part of that obvious discovery was that I didn't hold back a male and a female the first time around. I held back 2 females, which I guess is better than the alternative. And so here is a female that I held back from 2 years ago, but I had originally thought I'd be holding back this male, but it's a female. And one of the things I did is I held back the 2 most yellow, highest contrast pair that I produced. And the other female that I held back, you'll see she is even more yellow than this guy, and just kind of popped out of the clutch. She stood out as unique from day one. She's actually going into shed, but you'll get the idea that she's pretty yellow. So this girl I held back, and she was really the smallest in the litter, but as you can see, she's eating pretty well now. She's a beautiful animal, and although these guys haven't been handled as much as some of my other snakes, they're pretty darn mellow. And so anyway, these are 2-year-olds. Can't wait to breed this girl. She's probably maybe a year away. I don't know how she feeds, but maybe a year from now we'll be breeding her, but most likely 2 years from now. We'll see how that goes. But she's a great animal. Great, pets, super docile, wonderful animals to work with. So I want to give a shout out to Bill Hughes first for selling me a pair back in the day. And then also to my friend Dan Hyman. Everybody knows him as New York Dan. Dan was the one who said, hey, you should get some Madagascar Tree Boas. And I said, I don't even know what that is. And he turned me on to them, and I said, I ended up giving it a try, and I just love them. They are just great snakes. I don't have to convince anybody now because everybody in the world wants them. Here is my adult pair, and they are together right now. They've been breeding. So I'm going to start off with my male. And it's not that easy to see with these guys, but this male actually does have a larger amount of yellow, certainly than my female, and also has kept a much more sharper pattern. I know it's hard to call that a sharp pattern, but wait till you see the other one where the pattern kind of blends away. So this is my adult male. He is awesome. And again, you can see what great snakes these are, give you an idea of his size. He's not a small boy, but certainly not full grown. Madagascar Tree Boa. I always think of pit bulls when I see their heads. And here's my big girl. One of the things these guys will definitely do is when you pick them up, you'll feel them grab a hold of your wrist with their tail. Because they're so heavy-bodied, they don't want to fall, and so they will always, you can see she's grasping around my hand here. She wants to get a hold. There it is. There's the handle. So she's got a hold, so she knows she's not going to fall. And you can see she's a pretty big girl and pretty big around, but not, not excessive, not hard to handle. They are ridiculously strong, but very mellow. Obviously, as you can see by her girth, great feeders, but totally mellow in the cage, out of the cage. Just super fun animals. So that's what I have. I just have the 6 snakes. I originally thought I was going to have a 3.3. It ends up now that the 2-year-olds are both females. I have a 2.4. But that other male won't be ready to go for a while. And the females, the 2-year-old females, probably won't be ready to go for maybe a couple more years. But anyway, I know these guys are super popular now. Thought I'd just give you a little video of the ones that are in my collection. Thanks for watching, you guys. Have a great day.